God dag, as we say in Danish, or hello, hello, and welcome here to the Word Challenge 2026. The Word Challenge isn't my invention, I'm just participating. It is Rita Sommer's challenge, and her info here is under the little word more, and you can find info about the challenge there. But I shortly told, every week she draws a word out of a little pot, and you can interpret that word exactly as you want to, and use what materials you want and use what colors you want. I have decided this year to go red, white, and black, and perhaps that wasn't the smartest thing to do, because many of the words doesn't very much fit to that color combo. But then you have to be a little, set your brains in gear, or try new things, or invent something, or don't take care of the colors, but just do it anyway. But it has been a tough challenge for me, because I'm certainly not a word person. That is not what keeps me going and tricks me to do anything. I'm a person who is inspired by colors, shapes, forms, and abstract things. So, but I will do this year exactly as Rita did mine last year, and she probably also struggled with things within my Stitch Circle Show challenge last year. But so it must be. I have made my pieces a little bigger than Rita asked us to, because I like this format. Mine is 14 by 14 centimeters. And I placed them in this pamphlet stitched book I have, where I had some leftover red cardstock from many years ago, and it is a little faint in some places. And I don't have anything more left of it now, because I have made it into 2 books. And week 27 here I will make in this book, and then next week I will take a new book, and at one point I will make a cover and put this in, and I will make a video when I reach that point. But shortly introducing myself, my name is Lisbeth and I'm Danish, so pardon my bumpy English. I'm an abstract mixed media artist who really like to do a lot of different things, and I very much like to teach. And that is the goal with my YouTube channel here, because I don't do online courses or webinars or tutorials or anything. So everything I do is here on YouTube. And that being said, I teach also a lot here in Denmark, and that is in the same room, or face-to-face teaching, and I really like that too. But the world is a big world, and all of you can't come to Denmark, so I must come to you here on YouTube instead. And everything I do here is for free. And there's a lot to look at, and a lot of things that I would consider is as good as taking a class, because my videos get longer and longer, and I'm showing a lot of things. But and I have divided my content up in playlists, so look at the different playlists. There's a playlist for this word challenge this year, and there was a playlist for my last year's Stitch Circle Show challenge, and this year's Stitch Circle Show challenge, and many other different playlists. But since all this content is totally for free, somebody often asks me, how can we support you? And you can do that by using my Ko-fi account, and you will find a link here under the little word more. And I will be very happy if somebody do that, and thanks a lot to those who has supported me, but in any way don't feel obligated. If you have trouble using that Ko-fi account, write to me, and I can give you my PayPal account instead. That is perhaps easier for some of you. And my PayPal account is exactly the same as my email address. So you can also find that on my website if you want to. But enough of me talking. Let us get started, and I will put this away. Yeah, and open it up, and here is where today's piece is going to be. This word here for week 27 is aroma, and that is have something to do with smell. And it is a little strange because when I as a Danish person hear the word smell, automatically I think of something that stinks, because in English you apparently don't have more than one word for when you can use your nose and smell something. In Danish we have a word for when it smells bad and when it smells good. So when I hear the word smell, it sounds like something's not smelling very good. But the word is not that word. The word it was aroma, and aroma in Danish is something about smell. But also we have a Danish apple sort called aroma, and it is a crossover between a Philippa apple and a Ingrid Marie apple. And somebody has crossed over these two apples and made a new sort called aroma. So I will go for an apple-like shape and cut that out in a piece of this rust dyed red fabric. You can see it has a little pattern, and that is because I have rust dyed it. I have a candle, something I can put a light in and have it outside in my garden, and it is rusty, and that it looks like a can in size, and I have just turned this all wind it up over that, and it gives that lovely pattern there. And because the fabric was red already, it looks as it does. So I will try to cut some kind of an apple shape out and do some embroidery on, and just do, I don't know what it's something around it. I haven't decided that yet. But since I just don't want to cut freehand out, I will find a piece of paper and try to draw an apple-like shape I like, and then I can use that to cut out the fabric. But before I do that, I have taken my black fabric, and again I found a piece of old duvet cover and backed it, and I've done the invisible basting all the way around, and that is what I often like to do, because I like to have something more sturdy to stitch onto. But the invisible basting I've shown you a ton of times. But you come up, and then you go a couple of threads back and come up about a centimeter ahead of you. So it's a small stitch on the front and a long stitch on the back. So it looks like this here on the back. You don't have to do this if you sew in a hoop, for instance. I think it doesn't matter. But if you like to have something more sturdy to hold on to, like I do, I think it is very nice to have a soft, thin fabric on the back. And I just use regularly machine sewn cotton for invisible basting it down. And here black is also very hard to see here on the screen, but you can't see this, and that is exactly what I like. So I've just taken my pencil here and tried to draw some shapes, and perhaps the oval, some of our apples are oval, but in fact the aroma doesn't have that shape. The aroma have a shape more like this here, a round choppy one, and I think this is too small, so perhaps I will just go with this here. So I have a small scissor here, and that must only cut in paper. So I think I will go a little out of the line here, outside the line. So I can always cut it smaller. I can't cut it bigger. And that's the exact same my hairdresser says. So sometimes she takes a little and then a little before she is done. So she doesn't get any customers that are unhappy. Yeah, perhaps this bow is a little, not bow, yeah, that's shape, that curved shape here. So now I will just come in from this side and don't look at the lines anymore. Yeah, I think that is nice. Oops, that was a little blue bird here hitting my window. Oh, it's okay, it's sitting in my wisteria now. They sometimes fly in here because I feed them just up here. Out, yeah, of course outside, but just outside my window here. So now I will find a pin, and no, it is not this one I'm going to cut out, it's this one I'm going to cut out. So I'll just put a couple in. And away with my paper scissors so I don't cut in the fabric with that. This one was cotton fabric, so I think I will just cut it a little bigger than it is here. I can also always cut it smaller, as I said. And this is a very good idea for everything else you want to make a shape of. Draw it, cut it out, place it on your fabric, and then you can just cut it off there. So let me see if there's places I want to nurse a little. I think it went very well. So off with that and off with that. And let me close it. I'm a world champion at knocking things over. So there it is. So this can go in my bin. So is it too big? Yeah, perhaps it's a little too big. Or is it? Because I want to do something around. No, I think it is okay. So again, I will I just will take my glue stick. I often get pinched if I use these pins. Not so much by the small ones, but if I use the normal long ones. So just a little dab there and there to keep it in place. I don't want to put any leaves or anything in there. If I want a stalk or a little something there, I don't know yet. So now it is sitting there. So now I will find, I think I will find my red thread and sew it down with blanket stitches. And perhaps I want to do them so the legs have different lengths. But do I want the red one here? Or do I want this one here? Yeah, this I can't see, so that's not an option. And I don't think I want, whoops, black either. Or do I? There are so many options, or so many things, other ways you can do this. Perhaps I will do that instead. I would think I will go for the black, because then I can make some running stitch rounds here, just with the red or white. I don't know that yet. That white is screaming white. I think I will go and find a more creamy one. But I think I will go with the black here. So I will thread my needle and start it up. So I can come in a little closer here. I just come up here, and then I will go down here, and I think I will just hit the line, the circumference of the apple shape. And then I could take a small one. And then I can take a long one. A long one. So I will just do it totally random. Long, short, or whatever comes in here. It's not very nice to stitch into this fabric when it's plain, but now there's this rusty marks on it. It hasn't become any nicer. It is in fact not very nice to stitch into, but I will go for it. Now I have decided that's the way. So I will just do this all the way around the circumference here. You can see it. And be back. And when I'm back, I have also had some lunch. So now this apple isn't falling off the tree or off the surface either. It's sitting there quite nice. So before I decide what to stitch in here, I will just do a couple of rounds of running stitches with this cream color here. And there's nothing difficult in that. Right now it's like it's falling to sleep, my finger here, so it was not very nice to stitch here in this rusty fabric. So you don't need to see me sitting here stitching all these very easy stitches, but 2, perhaps 3 rounds. I will see how far I can come out, but I will be back in a second. I've been once around, and I think I cut is coming too close to the edges, so instead I will just wipe the running stitches. So I'll just come up under one of them, and then can you see here? Yeah, I think you can. take the eye and go under the next little stitch, under and under, under here, and it's not difficult. The only thing that's important is that you go the same way every time as you go from left to and under and left and under, and not suddenly go from, sorry, I was saying it wrong, that you're going from right and under, right and under, right and under, and not suddenly go from this way, because then your twisted line here won't be very nice. But it gives a little more definition to a line if you whip the stitches, the running stitches. You can also do it with back stitches or double running stitches there. Then it will be even fatter. So I will do this all the way around. So done with the whipped running stitches around there, and I think it looks very nice. I don't know if you have that saying in English, but if I translate it, we have a saying that if a young woman have some nice cheeks, some little round red cheeks, we call them apple cheeks. And I think this apple here need a cheek here, if you can call it that. So I will just, how big does I want it? Something like this. And I've just taken a template here, and I've just bought some of these markers who will disappear when I put a hot iron on them. I haven't had such a thing as this one before. It's just bought in our local, I don't know what it's called, but where you can call paint and bricks and tree and everything to do things in your house. Sorry, I can't remember what such a shop or store is called, but you can probably help me. So I will just again do whipped running stitches in here, exactly like I did there. And inside I think I will just do seed stitches, but let me do. I think it's so funny, this saying we. It's only the royal family who says we. I'm not we, I'm me. But that's exactly the same as I have done there. So I will be back. So the cheek was there. So now I've taken the very red thread here, and I hope I can see it here in the red fabric, and doing a lot of seed stitches. And seed stitches are just a single little stitch placed, scattered, spread totally random on your surface. And I like to sew them, and I know many do, but I also know some who really don't like them because they can't seem to do something random. And normally I like to both stab stitch and scoop stitch them. That's depending a little on if I can see where I want the next stitch. But if you are new to this, I would recommend you you stab stitch, and that is doing the stitch coming up and going down, coming up a new place here and going down, because then you can easier see where to come up and down. And if you're stitching in fabric where it's easy to do it in one way, you can of course do that, and I sometimes do it. I do a little of both. But in this fabric here isn't very nice to stitch into. And you can see they aren't quite even either. They are a little bigger and a little smaller, and yeah, they live their own life, I would say. But it's such a nice way to filling a surface and gives it texture. I really like it. But it takes its time to do all these stitches here. But for me it doesn't matter if it takes time. It's the enjoyment of doing it, sitting and letting your thoughts going walkabout. As I normally say, you can think of everything and nothing at the same time when you're getting in the flow here. Whoops, and there was something coming up here, some white thread from the back. Away with that. Whoops, and that was my thread. But you can see here, doesn't that look nice? So I will stitch all that, and then I don't know if I will do anything more. I think it looks quite nice. Perhaps it looks more like a cherry than an apple, but it's nearly the same shape. It's a small miracle. Every time you have finished an area here, it always ends up so it fits. It can't go wrong. Room for 2 more small stitches. There and there. Totally filled with seed stitches, small seed stitches. A nice little apple cheek. So away with that and that, and let me see here. Can come up a little. I think I will let it be as it is. It is quite simple, but there's a lot of stitching there. And of course, if I was more into the real things, that meaning realistic, it should have a little something there, or had a leaf there. So, but that's not me, and that doesn't mean I don't like when everybody else is doing something like this. I just don't do it. It's more the shape that and the patterns that interests me. So I will find my double-sided tape and my book, and I will glue it in my book and round this video up. So here we go with the tape. Whoops, I nearly got into it. And on with that there. Then I can cover this. Yeah, I wonder, if that is, that was glue enough there for this. But it was a mistake. Earlier I put it on there, so I just let it be there until now. So there we go. So in here, and let me see. Oops. There. This isn't going to run everywhere with all that double-sided tape there. I'm always a little afraid, and I'm always a little, oh, how do I do this every time Rita, every time, but every week Rita picks the word. And somehow it ends up with I make a small piece every week, even though I every time thinks I can't figure out what to do. But yeah, it's a little miracle again. As I said, it always ends up with something. They are much different pieces here in what I'm doing, even though they are only red, white, and black. And I will make a flip through of the whole book when I'm done. I will promise you that. But it ended up again with a piece here, and I think it looks quite nice. It's quite simple, but there was a lot of stitching there. And the story by the word aroma was a Danish apple sort. So I'm looking forward to next week, and as far as I remember, I'm home next week, but I can't quite remember. But if I am, I will make a video, and if I'm not, I will do it by myself and show it in the group. So I will just say here, I hope you have seen a way of doing this, or perhaps learn some tips and tricks you can use yourself in your work. And else I'm looking forward to see what other people are doing in the group. But else I would just say, please be creative and playful and enjoy what you're doing when you're slow stitching, because you can't rush slow stitching. It takes its time. You are doing it stitch by stitch by stitch, and enjoy the process, and not just, oh, I have to get finished. If that's the way, you could instead take a pencil and draw some marks instead. That would be much quicker. So enjoy your stitching. That is good for your mental health. I will just quickly say here as the last thing, please be nice to yourself, and please be nice to everybody around you. Give them a smile, and I'm sure they will smile back to you. That is all for this week here. So I will just say take care and bye-bye for now. Yeah, I of course forgot to say, please give my video a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing my little Danish channel. Give me a comment, ask me nearly anything, and I will answer you. I also answer everybody who gives me a comment. I think it's so nice to be in contact with people. Sometimes it can be like sitting on a little lonely island here by myself. So that is why I like the comments you give me. And they are all nice comments, and I'm very happy about that too. People are nice, and that is... So just bye-bye for now.